inside my car. I got pictures, got candy, I'm a lovable man, and I can take you to the nearest star. I'm your vehicle, baby. I'll take you anywhere you wanna go. I'm your vehicle, woman. By now I'm sure you know that I love you, I need you, I want you, got to have your child. Great God in heaven, you know I love you.
Down to it. I said, are you gonna get it crazy?
The guys who made an impression on you, who were big stars when you were a kid, always mean more to you than the great players who come along subsequent to that, and it's no reflection on those great players.
Most people would like to see it the way they knew it when they were a kid, and I guess I'm no different. I'd like to see it that way also.
Players, tend to respond, better to, I guess, players that they've maybe grew up watching, or players that have played the game for a number of years.
It's not romantic, and it's not lyrical. You only get lyrical when you write Bull Durham 20 years later.
This is a business, and it's run by business people, and especially the year that there was no World Series, to me that was like a stab in the heart.
I think what is happening now is stupid. I think that an agent telling Mike Piazza that $8 million a year for 6 years is a bad offer is just greedy. And what it ends up is that you have giant international corporations taking over the teams because they can write them off because they need programming for their networks, and the people running sports have no interest in baseball, just like the people running movie business have no interest in movies. It's the same thing.
So now you've got ball clubs that are owned by Fox, they're owned by Murdoch, they're owned by Murdoch and Fox, the same guy? Yeah, I think so. And Disney and the rodent that ate Florida.
How can, after all these years, a movie studio takes over a franchise and changes the uniforms, starts trading players like they know anything about baseball management, gets rid of the general manager who's been there for 30 years, and another guy, Billy Russell, who's been with the organization for 32. I know, I played against him in the minors. That's 62 years of baseball experience, whatever you think, out the door by a bunch of guys who make TV shows. What's good about that for baseball?
Back in those days, they used to play a lot of doubleheaders. Used to play a lot of weekend ball, a lot of the twilight type of games. Not like today. TV dictates everything today.
Those October games have a real beauty about them. I think tradition for its own sake is foolish, and so I don't think they should play all 7 World Series games in the afternoon. You cut too many people out of watching it, and you cut yourself too much important revenue. But how can the people who run the game let every World Series since 1987 go by without a single afternoon game, without a single reminder of what was special about October baseball? That feeling of rushing home from school, that feeling of bulletins buzzing around the office. What's the score now? People listening on the car radio and trying to get home as quickly as possible, or maybe not even leaving the office if the game is in the 8th or 9th inning because they're afraid that they'll miss the end. You can't measure that in Nielsen ratings, but I think it has a way of getting into people's imaginations that goes beyond that day or that night's Nielsen ratings.
I won't watch a World Series game if there's a dome or AstroTurf. I think the designated hitter is an abomination. I'm glad to see the parks getting more intimate again, because that's really what baseball has to be. Fan voting is a joke. No commissioner is a joke. That's a bunch of greedy owners afraid to have somebody overrule them. And so I think baseball is sort of like San Francisco, which somebody said that the city, no matter how you screw it up, you can't ruin it.
We used to presume there was a certain loyalty team to management, and it did cut both ways. The players didn't walk around hating management. More often than not, if they were in a jam, the owner of the club was going to write them out a personal check and help them through a tough time. And that did go away with free agency, and as I mentioned, who can begrudge the big salaries that they obviously are worth, or they wouldn't be making it. But it certainly was the end of innocence.
The Dodgers had for 44 years 2 managers. Well, now in the 4 weeks that Fox has owned them, they've had 2 managers.
When baseball started, baseball players made 7 times what the average person made. In the 40s, they made 7 times as much. In the early 70s, they made 7 times as much. And now it's up to 100 times as much. So it has become decadent.
When I first started, Topps was the only company that was, licensing to distribute baseball cards. And at that time, I think you got like $250 one year, and then the following year you would have a little bonus.
Today, I think some of the ball players think they're bigger than the game, but baseball's going to be around long after they're gone.
It's become quite a bonus, for these players every spring. And anybody who's fortunate enough to be a coach in the major leagues, also we benefit from it. And it turns out to be, $30,000 or $40,000 bonus in spring training, just from things that the public probably doesn't realize, just how much money is involved in this, in the bubblegum card trading and the souvenir shops.
When I started playing in Major League Baseball, the coaches were making more than the players, with the exception of maybe the star or two on the team. Today, automatically the rookies come in and are making more than the coaching staff, so that's a tough one.